Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back to show off some more plunder that I have acquired here recently. And in the background, the soundtrack for today's video is Blackjack. And if you're not familiar with Blackjack and you love 70s hard rock, definitely check this out, especially if you're a fan of Bruce Kulick, formerly of Kiss, as he is on this album here. Actually, both these albums. This is a compilation of both this band's albums, so definitely check this out. And all the CDs in this video, I recently picked up over a couple different transactions on eBay from the same seller, and they're all pretty much bootlegs. Yeah. So anyway, this makes this a kind of a response video to Marty Worm and the Guttural Monk, who both released videos touching on this subject, because I know bootlegs are a very taboo subject to collectors, but if you've watched my videos long enough, you know I support bands. I buy the merch. I buy the albums. Back when we could actually go to shows, I went to shows. So, now in this case, most of these are, pretty much all of these are hard to get without paying huge amounts of money. And in fact, 3 of the first 4 that I'm going to be showing have never even been released on CD before. So that's about the only way you're going to get them on CD is through a bootleg. You know, as far as bootleg goes, if it's something that's readily available, it's going to be reissued or whatever. I do not support that at all. If it's something like, in this case, that is really hard to find or has never been put out on CD before, or if it's a live bootleg, I got no problems with that because I just really want the music in my collection. So that's kind of how I look at it. But moving on, the first 4 are all from the same band, and I'm super glad to have these in the collection because I remember seeing these years ago at a CD store that I used to go to. And they were super expensive then, and I got these for all of these really for really reasonable prices. And in this case, first 4 are all from Pantera, and or as they are affectionately called from this era, Glamtera. Of course, Pantera, the Cowboys from Hell, formed back in 1981 by the Abbott brothers, and they're known for their kind of thrashy groove sound and their Cowboys from Hell image and their drunkenness and everything. But back then, when they formed, they actually played a more glammy style of straight-up heavy metal. So if you love 80s style heavy metal, then definitely check these out if you can. And starting things off, we have 1983's Metal Magic, featuring Terry Glaze on vocals. And of course, during this time, they were not known as Dimebag Darrell and Rex Brown. It was Diamond Darrell, Rex Rocker, Vincent Paul on drums, and then, of course, like I said, Terry Glaze on vocals. This was his only time on a Pantera album. Next up, Project in the Jungle from 1984, and you can kind of see the difference in image of the band from what most people know them. This is the debut album of Terrence Lee on vocals. He was a hell of a vocalist, I have to say, and he was also on 1985's I Am the Night. And yeah, really good vocalist. Really enjoyed both these albums, and all of these sound really great. And then the final one from this era is Power Metal, released in 1988. It is the debut of the lineup that we all know Pantera for, featuring Phil Anselmo on vocals. And essentially on here, if you realize from, or should I say, remember from Cowboys from Hell, especially like the song Cemetery Gates, where Phil uses his higher register, you know, his falsetto style vocals, you know, here and there. He pretty much does really high vocals throughout this whole thing, and it's really freaking awesome. It sounds nothing like you would think Pantera sounds like, but I highly recommend checking these out. If you don't feel like supporting a bootlegger, definitely look them up on YouTube because they are available to see, or watch there, I should say, or listen there. Jesus Christ, I cannot talk today. Moving on, we have Piledriver with Metal Inquisition. Yeah, Piledriver is a speed thrash metal band from Toronto, Ontario, Canada that formed back in 1984. This is the band's debut full-length album. They did have one other release under the straight-up Piledriver names, entitled Stay Ugly, that came out in 1986, and then they changed the name to The Exalted Piledriver. If you really want to get an idea of what this band sounds like, if you just want to check out a song or two, I would definitely check out one of the first 2 tracks on here, which is the title track, Metal Inquisition, and Sex with Satan. Either one of those will give you an idea of what Piledriver sounds like, but I'm just super happy to have this in the collection. Bootleg or not, I mean, if I could find a real copy, I would definitely pick it up. Of course, same thing for any of these, really, if I could find a authentic copy. But when it comes to Pantera, though, this one was the only one that ever actually came out on CD. So the others, this was the only way I was going to get them. And last but not least, another one I am super happy to have in my collection finally. That is Sam Hain with Initium. Of course, Sam Hain is the band that Glenn Danzig formed right after he left the Misfits back in 1983. And this is the debut album from this band that came out in '84 on Plan 9 Records, which was Danzig's own label. But of course, this is a bootleg version of it because that version is long out of print. And even the box set that came out is long out of print. So the only way you're really going to get these is if you pay huge amounts of money for original pressing, or if you can find a good quality bootleg like this for a decent price. That's about the only way you're going to get these. And of course, this band here went on to morph into the Danzig band that we all know today. In fact, bassist Eerie Vaughn from this album went on to be in Danzig all the way up until 1995. So yeah, Sam Hain morphs into Danzig as we know him today. So yeah, definitely worth checking out for sure. And yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.